relationship to have, and it's on a whim that I got it, and I do all of the things possible to respect it and share my harvest, or leave some persimmon jam behind, or something that I have foraged and processed that I can share in gratitude for being able to use that space. It is an issue. There are sometimes mentored hunts, or like the group that I mentioned in the Kansas City area, Wilderness, which is for women only. They do guided mentored hunts and provide the land and provide the shotguns and the ammunition and the education and the mentorship and everything. So some states, it sounds like Nebraska is doing a great job on mentorship collaborations. Kansas has some of that. But those are the kinds of things I would look out for, but it really is just, it's hard if you don't have access to private land.
Being a landowner, there's a class I want to teach here at UNL called Landowner Speak. I have, and Daryl, you've read it. I wrote an extensive blog on how to get access to land to hunt here in Nebraska. I did it in the summer. And being a landowner, being a farm kid, and I'll tell you what works and what doesn't work. And we don't have much time left, so I'll divert you to that blog I did in, I think, late July. But our landowners here in Nebraska, it's tough. It's tough to get on. There's no question about it. Especially close to the metro areas here, it's even tougher. But you gotta be willing to put yourself out there. It's gonna be probably knocking on 15 doors and 14 are gonna say no, but hell no. And you may hear all kinds of things. I tell people with landowners, they're very frank, blunt people in Nebraska. And the farmers that we have here in eastern and central Nebraska are different than the ranchers we have in the west, aren't they, Daryl? And they want to get to know you. They do want to talk. They'll talk politics. They want to talk weather, politics, current events, Nebraska football. You might not be football fans. I've got my red on for the spring game. But they want to get to know you. And Jenny had great points. Our friend from Kansas had great points. I could really get into it. I want to teach this class here. And I want to teach this class because we have young biologists that have been shut down on getting access to big ranches out west. I had a rancher, I'll tell you, up in northwestern Nebraska, call me and tell me he's bordering one of our wildlife areas, the Metcalf Wildlife Management Area, and say, Mr. Wagner, I've got 2 girls, these young girls from UNL that want to come on my land to track mountain lions. I don't like mountain lions, you know. I don't want government on my land. Why should I let them on my land? I said, because we were in the process of maybe deciding a hunting season. I said, you need to let them on. You want to have a hunting season and maybe help control these mountain lions or to learn more about them? Let them on. These are your daughters. These are your granddaughters. Let them on the damn land. But my exact words, that's how I treat my landowners. And I have people say, why should I let you on my land, Mr. Wagner? I said, don't you know what I do? I'm a PR spokesperson for Nebraska Game and Parks. I screw up, it's my job. And I'm trying to live in your basement. This is why I want to come on your land, and I'm not going to do anything that's illegal, unethical, or immoral. I'm a landowner myself. But there's a lot to getting permission on private land. It's easier. I've never been turned down, by the way, in Nebraska, for people who don't know me. Being a type A person, it's a little easier, but, and I'm not going to take up a lot more time, but I divert you to that blog because I really got into it. It's on Nebraska Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Scroll down, you'll click Nebraska Land Magazine, you'll see Jenny there as well. And on there, you'll be able to search for blogs. It was done, I think I did it in July or August of last year. And in the wild with wags, for what that's worth. what are you doing? You're not thinking here. You understand what they're doing? Here's what they're doing. And just frankness and bluntness goes a long ways with our landowners. And I will tell you this, that politically in Nebraska, geez, I'm stepping into hell of turf, Darrell. Most of the state beyond Omaha and Lincoln is red. And you need to know that going in. It's not that you want to really get into the political discussions, but you need to understand where you're stepping into to get access to forage, fish, hunt, trap, what have you. That most of the state is red, and these are pretty simple folks, and they're very blunt, aren't they, Darrell? And so that's what I would tell you. That blog, outdoornebraska.gov, in the wild with wags. Scroll down, you'll go to July or August of 2022, and you'll see that getting permission to hunt on private land.
Can I add something?
Sure.
Sorry for shaking up the format a bit, but while I agree with your point of going and knocking on doors of landowners and asking for access, when we talk about the barriers to connecting with the BIPOC communities, can you imagine being a person of color in a rural area knocking on a landowner's door? Like, that adds another level of complexity with the barriers that people in the BIPOC community face in trying to have land access.
I would tell you that being with Game and Parks 44 years, that many people of color have access to farms here in eastern Nebraska. Many. And it's not been, I've never had an individual at least come to our office, come to me, or others in the agency that are people of color, and say, I was not let on this property because of my skin color.
But I think that because of the stereotypes, that is the barrier. That a person of color may be intimidated by making that step because of the stereotypes that we have of landowners.
There's no question that it could be. And I would say stereotype, go on out, ask them, be blunt, do it. Yes?
Well, as a